For the 15,000 people planning to attend the United Nations Climate Conference in December 2007, there seemed to be only one way to get there. Pity about the 100,000 tons of carbon. But for some climate activists, there was another way to fly. They travelled carbon-free in the virtual world of Second Life to One Climate Island and the virtual Bali conference. Behind each avatar arriving on One Climate Island is a real person sitting at their computer in a different part of the world. They've come from scores of countries, from Spain to South Africa, China to Chile, the US to Germany, waiting for the chance to make their voice heard with questions and comments to the participants of the UN Climate Conference. The nerve centre of Virtual Bali is the OneWorld UK team in London. They're linking One Climate Island to the events in Bali as they unfold, with video feeds from OneWorld's multimedia reporters Jeff Allen and Daniel Nelson.
We off?
Okay, stand by. Okay, Jeff, and cueing Danny now.
Greetings from the UN Conference on Climate Change in Bali, Indonesia. And I'm Daniel Nelson of OneWorld UK and One Climate. And behind the camera...
The audience of avatars could interact with the Bali participants, like Martin Hiller of Climate Action Network, author Mark Linus, and Friends of the Earth director Tony Juniper.
And I made the point earlier on that the United States is behaving rather like passengers in first class in a jumbo jet who are believing quite wrongly that an emergency or catastrophe in economy class won't affect them. It's not a technical challenge, it's a political one. We have the technologies already, we have some of the institutions, we now need some political will and some money to make it happen.
The power of meeting like this in Second Life is that you're all together in the same space, able to make your voice heard with comments and questions, and to make new contacts and friendships with like-minded people from every part of the world. By the second week of the conference, press excitement about Virtual Bali was building up, triggered in particular by the fact that Ed Markey, chair of the influential Energy and Global Warming Committee in Congress, had decided to use Virtual Bali rather than flying to Indonesia to deliver his conference speech. Instead, he was linked into One Climate Island from his laptop in Washington.
Thank you for joining me today on the virtual island of Bali created by One Climate in Second Life. As some of you may know, and as Sue just told you, I serve as the chairman of the Select Committee on Energy Independence and Global Warming in the United States House of Representatives. I have teleported here over the internet, as you can see, as an avatar, taking advantage of the new possibilities of digital collaboration that mimic in-person travel without the carbon footprint that comes with taking a jet to a place as remote from the United States as Bali. I wanted to say a special thank you to One Climate and OneWorld, who built and maintained this virtual Bali space and One Climate Island. Their efforts are making it possible for people all across the planet to not only join in the UN conference discussion, but also to learn about sustainable living. I invite everyone to take a tour of the island after this speech. This is my first foray into Second Life, but it won't be my last. Dozens of representatives of the Bush administration are in Bali, all carrying instructions to say no to real progress. And that is why it is important for Bali and the world to hear other American voices, voices advocating a new direction for the United States.
The next question suggests that in the United States, gasoline prices are far too low, that you're doing too little to discourage vehicles on the roads, and that is why you remain one of the largest polluting countries in the world. What can be done about that?
A good question. In 1975, the United States automotive fleet averaged 13.5 miles per gallon. But because of the...
You've just seen the future, I think. To have a congressman in the US speaking to the Bali climate change talks is a very historic event, and you've been there the first time.
a lot of people are stopping, they're looking up, they're saying, what is this, what's going on? It's a live speech, no way, that's awesome. He's really speaking from Washington, how's he doing that? You know, so we've got a lot of interest, a lot of people are really interested to hear that this type of thing can happen, that you know, that there are other ways to address a major conference like this and to be involved in negotiations or in communications. It's really exciting to have been here and to have people who can really talk authoritatively on these issues, connecting not just with the other people here in Bali, but with, you know, anyone out there who chooses to come online and take a few minutes and listen to what they have to say and ask their own questions.
And I've noticed from the questions we've had, there's been Japan, Bosnia, a whole range of people from many different countries.
Yep. Serbia, Italy, Netherlands, Japan, China, United States, Canada, Iceland, did I say Germany, Spain I saw yesterday, South Africa. We've really gotten some interesting feedback from all around the world. It was one of the most important political speeches ever to be given in Second Life, and it was certainly a strong move by Congressman Markey to decide to give this speech here on One Climate Island in Second Life, rather than flying to Bali. He had many reasons for doing that. Certainly one of them was that he saved 5.6 tons of carbon by doing that. Certainly not the only reason, but I think he showed to the world that there are other ways of doing things, and you don't have to always do things the same way everyone else does. And if you sort of think a little creatively, you might find some interesting ways to solve problems.